and all that?
Yeah, I put it on Instagram and Facebook. On mine.
You're going from YouTube and just hitting share, right?
No, I go to YouTube, I hit share, and then I copy the link.
The link, yeah.
And then I paste the link. I create a little story image, and then I put the link in the image in there in the story.
Yeah, because I thought about sharing it too, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this. How do I get the story in this?
Oh, I can show you easy
Just go
enough.
to share and then copy the link, and then you can do whatever you want with the link.
Yeah. And I can include you in the emails when I send out the thumbnails, so you've got them.
Oh yeah.
So you can use those for your stories.
No, I can try and get more traction.
Yeah.
Maybe harass some of Discord.
I don't know. Maybe we're just terrible. Maybe a lot of people, different people watched it every time, it turns out, even though the numbers are similar, and we're just awful.
No, actually, surprisingly, so we get decent traction from our subs.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them have been just people
Popping
off the main YouTube front page.
We had the kids that were in here before the fantasy draft guys.
Oh.
He goes, what are you setting up? And I go, we do a little podcast in here, whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, what's it called? And I go, The Daily Torch. And he goes, I've seen it.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Now, see, the real trick, though, is some guy said that we owed him bourbon.
Yeah.
In the comments, right? And I told him exactly how to get bourbon from us in the comments.
Yeah.
So if somebody goes back and they find that episode, we're going to have somebody come in here, and it's going to be a really interesting...
That's fine.
Like, Mission Impossible style type of conversation.
Why did he say we owed him bourbon?
I don't know.
That's what I was about to ask.
I mean, I don't care. We've got plenty back there.
Yeah, I was like, well, if you had asked, we would have given it to you. So I'm like, I don't know. But now I told him, I was like, well, here's how you get bourbon from us.
Yeah.
All right. The key is you walk in to the guy who's there at the counter, whoever it is, and you go, I saw a mockingbird in the park today. And I said, the guy behind the counter will respond with, interesting. What color was the mockingbird?
Oh, my God.
I was
All right, I'll be ready.
Very, very Mission Impossible.
I'm not even sure I would have needed to be ready for that. Because if someone had come in and told me that, if you hadn't told me the story and someone came in and said, I saw a mockingbird in the parking lot today, I'd be like, Casey told you how to get whiskey, huh?
Don't ruin the clandestine. You got to do the procedure, man. Don't ruin the clandestine operation.
You just have a folder underneath and you flip to it.
I like
funny.
that. I like that. Like certain things, like, the response is Kipling. Oh, yes.
All right. Bring us in, would you?
I already did.
All right. Well, this is the Daily Torch. I'm your host, Lane. Casey's the MC in the corner over there.
I like to think of myself as comedic relief.
And Kevin for color commentary.
Sometimes.
He's got the colors. Look at that. Blue, orange, yellow.
There is a lot going on in that frame.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, and somebody's going to think that I'm some sort of fan of something else.
It maybe.
With all these colors.
You know
It might
what?
just
From
happen.
here, it kind of looks like a Kansas City jersey, or possibly like a Warriors jersey. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's blue. There's a
The
lot of blue and
Warriors.
gold. UCLA.
blue and gold. Oh,
Cal's
yeah.
darker than
Cal,
that.
Yeah.
While I'm moving, you might be able to catch out what it is. Tell me what it is in the comments. You might figure it out.
It's a Dragon Ball jersey, right?
No one
Wow,
told you
10
to.
points to Gryffindor. Look at that. Oh, wow.
You
man.
would do that.
Have you been
You've
studying
seen it
or something? Like, what? Whoa. Talk about way out of left field there. Like, whoa.
Shit, I was trying to get people to comment, and you're just like, nope.
Boom.
They'll still comment. They're going to go, holy shit, how did Lane know that?
Yeah. Just wait. Lane doesn't know those things. You're right. I don't.
He doesn't.
Who are you and what have you done with Lane?
He's been around me enough, so.
All right. We're tasting ryes tonight. And wait, there's a boo rye in there, though. Because why not?
Oh, the smirking jackalope.
Yeah. I was thinking about, I wasn't going to do all four of those. I was thinking about swapping out one of the ryes we have in the back.
Yeah.
Like this Baby Saz or something.
Oh,
because
yeah.
3 of these are basically the same company at different ages. And then one of these is their own distillate. So it's like MGP, Bardstown.
Ah.
But really it's the High West Boo Rye,
Yeah.
the Sagamore 8,
Okay.
and something else that I put in there.
Two others that we don't even...
No, those are three. I named three.
I'm calling A the blue rye.
Oh, okay.
The Boo Rye.
Yeah, the blue
Boo,
rye.
boo, not blue.
The
What
blue
was the
rye.
fourth one?
Uh,
Saz.
Yeah.
I didn't bring the
Is the
Emerald.
Is
I didn't believe the
Woodford's?
Brew Run.
Is it Woodford's?
No.
No.
Saz, High West, Bardstown, and something.
I mean, we have somebody to take a peek
That's
back there and look at
MGP.
the bottles.
No, whatever. We'll figure it out. Doesn't
All right.
matter.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
gonna be. It's gonna be. And the fourth unknown whiskey
The fourth
is.
mystery whiskey.
And the
Yeah.
mystery is,
One of these is a mystery.
we've had this, and I can't tell.
It might not even be whiskey. It might be something else.
Anyway, all right. Ahsoka premiered yesterday.
Yes.
Yes.
Before I say anything, did you watch the first episode?
I watched
Casey?
the first episode.
And what did you think?
I mean,
And don't steal my review.
I'm not going to steal your review because
I think you liked it more than I did.
I found it to be more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be.
I think that's done.
How's that? Like, I
was-
thought it was going to bomb more than it did.
It was definitely more enjoyable than
Yeah.
my expectations.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be terrible.
It was kind of interesting because the first episode was like, okay, it had the credit roll, which I kind of appreciated, to kind of get you like, here's where we are in the story, and then it kind of dipped into a little Indiana Jones for a moment, and I was like, okay, I can appreciate this, and then it was like kind of Star Warsy, and I was like, oh, all right, there's some Star Wars elements, and then it was just kind of a lot of people talking for no reason, and I was like, oh, that's it.
All right. I'm going to start with Kevin, did you watch it?
I haven't got a chance. Apparently, my subscription is set to some child's subscription
Oh, yes.
at this point.
All Disney subscriptions have changed once they updated. You
Yeah.
have to go into the settings and adjust the age that you're allowed to watch your own products at.
That's right,
And you
those-
actually have to turn it up. If you want to watch The Punisher, for instance, you have to turn it to the max so you can watch the mature material inside.
And that's what I was trying to do at one point, and then I got pissed off.
Yes, you can only do it on the website. You can't do it from the phone.
Oh, God.
I tried to do it from the TV.
What a pain in the ass.
No, you can't do it from the TV either. It has to be done on the website.
Okay,
Yes.
here's my question.
Yes.
I have many. But let's start with the very beginning. Those two, whatever they are, gray Jedis, pseudo Sith, call them whatever you want. Right?
Okay.
Why did they talk?
Because
The only talking they needed to do was to get aboard the ship. I apologize, Kevin. Take off your earphones.
You're
if you
fine.
want.
spoiler alert.
I'm going to hear you either way, so.
They were obviously just going to kill
See,
everybody.
Look, man, you're already overthinking this.
I'm not.
Yes,
they
you
didn't
are.
need to
No.
talk.
Yes, they did.
There was no writing
They
necessary.
clearly
for
had to
that
talk.
scene. No.
Yes, they did.
I didn't need to know who they were yet.
Yeah, because
I
they
just-
were trying to get on the ship. They were
They were
like,
on
"Look,
the ship.
We're Jedi.
They were on the ship.
And the dude was like, you're not Jedi.
But you can't tell me they go from zero to murder without knowing when they got on the ship that they were just going to do murder.
I mean, clearly they were going to do just murder. The guy's wearing all black.
So why did they talk? Why didn't they
Because-
just get off their ship and start wrecking shop?
Because they had to assert the point that
They
the
did.
Republic are idiots.
They did not.
Yes, they did.
No.
Yes.
We knew that. We knew that when the
no. See, you knew that.
listen.
I
there's-
knew that.
There's two captains,
Yeah.
2.5 now maybe, that get away with leaving the bridge for the away mission,
Yes.
and none of them are in Star Trek or Star Wars. They're all in Star Trek.
yes. Agreed.
So we knew that the Republic was idiots as soon as the captain left the bridge.
yes.
And also, what was the point of the little, I don't even know what you call the learner of, the pseudo Sith, going to the bridge anyway, except to just commit murder?
Oh, because they scuttled the ship too.
Did they? It looked like it got shot on.
No. So if you see, you weren't paying attention. See, this is the problem. See, later on, when you see the general says, "Oh, these two guys came on, killed most of the crew, and then scuttled our newest flagship."
Oh.
So the point is, they went there and probably like hit a button, and then was like, "Boom, blow that bitch up," or whatever.
Wait, that's even worse. Because then they knew it was going to happen before they got on the ship. So why did they talk? Why do they talk, Casey?
Because
There was no reason for their words.
they're getting paid by the word.
Are they?
Everyone wants to bitch that they're not getting paid enough, so they're probably getting paid by the word.
They didn't need any of that. All right, so here's my bigger problem.
All right.
Now, mind you, I don't hate it. I'll probably watch another episode.
I probably will watch another episode too. I'm actually kind of like, okay, it hasn't started yet, because really it was just filler for Rebels.
Yeah, no, because episode 2 ends where Rebels ended.
Yeah,
it's just like the ending of Rebels, but in a different place.
Yeah, the first episode is legitimately character building, so that if you didn't watch Rebels, you go, okay, I kind of know what's going on.
Yeah,
and
I
then
have an idea.
Episode 2 is like, oh, by the way, now you're caught up. Here's what happened. Ta-da!
But it was entirely average.
Yes.
Everything about it was just that'll do.
Yeah.
All of it.
Well, even the
fight
the
scenes.
murder scene is just a generically B ripoff of Darth Vader doing the same thing.
Well, yeah, but so was Luke's return and whatever.
Yeah, but Luke's return was way cooler.
Yeah, because it was Luke.
Yeah.
But it's the same scenes. Now they've done it 3 times.
No, that's true. Actually, you know what makes that scene cooler is if you go to YouTube,
Yeah.
and you type in that Luke scene, but with the true Star Wars theme that's
Yeah.
supposed to play, it's like 10 times more epic than it actually needs to be. It really like puts that to shame. You go, wow, dude, somebody on YouTube made this scene 10 times better than
Way
Hollywood.
better.
Yeah.
It's just so average.
It
Like
is.
that stupid little cat thing, the Loth cat,
Yes.
looked like it was out of that Tom Cruise movie from the 80s. I think it was Tom Cruise.
Oh. Risky business?
No, come on.
What?
Come- The what, like Labyrinth.
Days of Thunder.
Labyrinth, yeah.
Yeah.
Casey.
Tom Cruise is not in the Labyrinth.
No, it feels like he is.
I mean,
I've never watched it all the way through. I've seen like maybe 2.5 minutes.
of the Labyrinth?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
You don't like the Labyrinth?
Or what was the other one the series that came out that no one watched? Dark something or something dark.
Dark
or-
Crystal?
Yes.
Yes.
Felt like that.
That movie's terrible.
Well, this was a series, I thought, not a movie.
Well, they made 2 of them.
Did they?
Does that count?
I don't know.
Oh, Dark Crystal's terrible.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's the dirty part of Jim
But that's
Henson.
what that animation, that stupid cat felt like.
Yeah, I mean, clearly they skimped on the money for that one. They spent all their money on that highway scene,
Fair.
which was strange. It was strange hearing, like, rock and roll music in Star Wars.
That was, yes.
I was kind of like, oh, I was like, am I watching Star Wars or is this like some kind of live action anime that I'm not aware of?
Did Star Wars and Guardians of the Galaxy have a baby?
Yeah, I was like, where are we going with this? 'Cause I kind of like the song and I like the mood, but I'm like, this isn't Star Wars. Like, it could have been anything else. I was like, this is some cool science fiction show. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a Republic dude wearing a helmet. And you're like, oh, I guess we're watching Star
I
Wars.
don't think it's going to do as well as Disney hopes it's going to do.
None of these have. You know why? Because they're terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, The Mandalorian was cool for the first 2 seasons, but
Yeah.
season 3 was a little wishy-washy.
Yeah. Obi-Wan had cool moments.
Obi-Wan had really cool Darth Vader moments.
That's really it.
And then you were like, the rest of it was just kind of like that whiny little girl.
I know. There's so much talking.
Yeah.
I told you this. It feels like the Colonel in Spaceballs, Colonel Sanders, right? Where Dark Helmet looks at him and is like, why are you preparing? Why are you preparing all the time? Just go. Just go.
Close the zoo.
Yeah. Shut down the 3-ring circus.
Shut down the 3-wing circus.
Yeah.
Prepare to go to Plaid.
Like we spend 3.5 minutes of a scene talking about what they're going to do, and then doing it just ends up being incredibly disappointing.
That's kind of Hollywood, though, isn't
And
it?
none of their talk is strategic. Like, it doesn't advance the story at all. It's always like, I don't feel like she wants me here. Like, who cares?
Right.
Like, it doesn't advance the story at all.
Well, look, every show and movie can't be written by Aaron Sorkin. Otherwise, we'd be lucky.
I know. And he's moved on to theater, right?
Although, yeah, he does Broadway, which is his passion.
I would take, this is really sad, I would take Gilmore Girls dialogue over what we're getting in Star Wars right now.
Wow.
At least it had pace.
I mean, I'm not confirming nor denying that I've watched Gilmore Girls. That's,
I
that's,
had
that's
to.
all
I had a girlfriend.
That's all
that-
on you.
I had a girlfriend that liked it. I didn't have a choice.
But I
That's the
will.
excuse we're using. The girlfriend that liked it.
That's kind of how everyone's seen Gilmore Girls. Let's be
Yeah,
fair.
like there was a
Yeah.
point where you weren't given a choice.
That is true. I saw it growing up because of my mother.
Yeah.
I think my favorite one for pacing though was Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. That had good pacing.
Oh, B's phenomenal. Ooh. What is B?
B's the Boo-Ray.
I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not guessing it. I'm trying to do scores first before I try to figure out what's what because
Oh.
I feel like guessing.
Creates a bias.
Yeah.
Ah.
You've immediately created an expectation. You're like, oh, I think this is that. Now the whole
if you're like
expectation.
already this taste right here, I know what that is. That way I'm going to rate it higher. And then we get disappointed when we go through and actually find out what they are.
Yeah, and I think you're better off just picking the one that you like.
Oh.
The palate on
Okay.
A is it
A fell a little. There's nothing offensive about it. It
No,
just seemed there
yeah.
just wasn't much. There was like 80% of a whiskey.
it's not
Really?
it doesn't it's not noticeable. So like what that first taste you get, it's not noticeable, and then it dissipates and you get the burr, just the burn.
Here's the thing that I really like the palates or the noses on ryes just generally.
yeah.
There's like a fruity note to A, though.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
Yeah.
You get the fruit?
Yeah.
But you're right that it's just kind of like, bam, heat.
Yeah, like
Nothing else, though. There's no
it's
satisfaction there.
kind of flat.
Yeah,
I'm not getting any heat on any of
that's
this.
strange.
All right, we're just gonna go through and do grades real fast. So I want to talk about, all right, so today I was going to the gym. I've been going to the same gym for 8 years. And for most of the days that I've gone to that gym, I've walked, including winter. There's a crosswalk coming down a road. Now it's a mountain pass, it's a commute road from the valley and like for the employees of the casinos. So it's pretty well traveled. The crosswalk is marked. It's not just a random crosswalk. There's signs. Yield to pedestrians here. There are even extra lines where cars are supposed to yield to pedestrians, right? No one ever stops.
Does it have one of those buttons to push for the
No,
lights?
they don't have that there yet. I wish they did. And usually I can get across, but it's like 1 in 20, 1 in 25 cars that'll actually stop. Unless you just throw yourself in the road and pray. But today, I was going to the gym. And I noticed that all these cars are driving by me at full speed. Now, when I say everybody, sheriffs, like the fire commander vehicles, just fly by. No one stops. The county workers stop. And the Heavenly drivers, the guys that are driving the trucks, doing the patrols at Heavenly,
Right.
they stop. No one else.
Okay.
But they drive by and they give you this little wave. Like what's the wave for?
Sorry, didn't
Wait,
see you there.
Wait,
My
so
bad.
like they're waving at you while you're standing trying to
Except
wait?
that, dude, there's a fair chance, given the time that I go to work or that I go to the gym, that these people have seen me at this crosswalk. Wow,
Whoa.
that's intense.
What was that?
You don't like that whiskey, or you don't like that sound, or both?
Both.
Okay.
You okay over there?
Yeah, because it rested right here afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I smacked this and just made that ringing sound.
Oh, what number gave you the Willies? A, B, C, or D?
Number D.
Number D. All right, that's good to know. Sorry, Lane, continue.
No, but the wave, like, and I don't want to be that guy on the side of the road that's just randomly flipping cars off, but you so desperately just want to flip their cars off. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? It's a little wave. Everyone gives the same little wave. You know what? If it was just one guy, fine. But when it's 20 cars in a row, like, oh, you didn't see the person in front of you not stop for me? Or the person in front of them? Or the person in front of them? Or the person in front of them?
Listen, the only wave I give is when I stop and I just go like this.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a better way.
that's because you stopped.
Because then you know that, like, I like the guys that are really cool, the county guys, 100 yards down the road, will flash their lights.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's cool. I'm not throwing myself into the road to play Frogger.
There's no death will come upon today.
Yeah.
and my biggest thing is it all depends on where you're at for me for where I'm going to stop. If I'm in LA, there's no way I'm fucking stopping at a crosswalk.
Dude.
Unless it's...
Wait a minute. What
Do you get
mean?
maple notes off
What do you
of
mean,
B?
what do I mean?
What do you mean you don't stop in L.A. For let people go by?
Why the hell would I stop in LA? Well, certain parts
Because
of LA.
it's a crosswalk.
Well, if you have to, then you have
Here's
to.
my problem. Okay, my problem is it's a fucking crosswalk. If someone's standing there on the side of the road, it is your job driving a 2,000-pound vehicle, death machine,
Correct.
to stop, make eye contact with said person, and say, hey, you can safely cross in front of my vehicle. I will protect you in this lane.
But would you?
That's your job.
Let me ask you: would you stop in Barstow
Sure.
at a crosswalk?
Yes.
Ooh, you're brave.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, the Lord's caliber is my passenger.
That is.
I'm prepared.
I mean, that is true in like Nevada, but in California,
The Lord's caliber goes with me anywhere I go. I don't care.
I'm just saying, Barstow. When I was there, I had a 38 special. Yes, it was on me,
See?
but there's
There
no
you
way I'm
go.
stopping because I've seen so many people try and carjack at a crosswalk.
First of all, your car doors should be locked when you're traveling. Like my car automatically locks when I
Mine
put it in
doesn't.
drive.
Mine doesn't.
Then hit the button. But if your car door is locked, yes, you might get smashed and grabbed, possibly. But again, 9 times out of 10, your job is to make eye contact with the person trying to cross the road so that they can safely cross the road so that they don't get hurt.
Fair.
And when all these people blow through the damn crosswalk and fuck it off for everybody else, everyone just goes, oh, I don't need to stop at the crosswalk because they don't remember that in the driver's manual book that you're supposed to stop at a fucking crosswalk when people are trying to cross the damn street.
Well, like I said, for like places like here and like down in Gardnerville, in Carson,
Anywhere.
I stop. For
United
sure.
States of America. It's in every DMV pamphlet book.
It is. But then when you get in those areas, do you really want to stop? Like if you're in the hood and like
Yes.
there's a crosswalk, are you going to stop?
Yes.
No, you're not. Don't lie
Yes,
to me.
you're going to stop because it takes you 2 seconds to hit the gas and accelerate to get out of the way. Like, come on.
Fair, fair. I don't know. It depends. Like I said, up here, definitely. I usually stop at that crosswalk if I see somebody. If I don't see him until like the last minute, it kind of freaks me out because sometimes they'll just cross in the middle of the night.
Now,
no light,
yeah.
nothing.
Now, I will say, if the guy behind you is tailgating and you can't safely stop your vehicle, okay, you're going to have to blow through that. But that's not your fault. That's the guy tailgating.
Yeah.
All right, and that guy's an asshole. Especially because, he probably drives that road every day and knows there's a crosswalk there. He's just trying not to stop. But it doesn't take that much time to stop for like 15, 20 seconds to let that person just cross the street.
In one of the multiple I almost died on this crosswalk stories, there was one of those guys, and the person in front of them stopped anyway.
Oh, really?
And I saw them stop. So I'd crossed the first lane going up the road. Flashed their lights at me.
Okay.
I'm like, cool, crossing. Cross to the middle. Guy coming down the road in the next lane does it. He's obviously slowing down, and I see a hand signal. Cool. So I continue across.
Yes.
The guy behind him went around him on the shoulder.
Oh, God.
And if I hadn't seen that, would have plowed right fucking through me.
Wow. Yeah. Some people are just in such a rush to go.
No.
Like, where are you going?
The only one where I was ever close was that green Jeep Wrangler.
Didn't you actually like touch that?
No, but it was close. He missed me. So when I made the move to dive out of the road, I didn't actually hit the ground, but there was a leap.
Okay.
He was probably, like me to that door, whatever you think that is. Going 50.
20 feet.
Yeah. So I jump out of the road. When he went by me, he probably missed my trail leg by, I don't know, 36 inches. I mean, it was enough to get my heart rate going.
I bet.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
And you were fine up until he stopped.
Oh my God. I was okay. I was okay with it. He pulls over and rolls down his window. And I'm not mad. I'm holding it together. And he says, I'm so glad you got out of the way. That would have ruined my day.
And then that's when you took your pocket knife out and stabbed his tire and said, well,
I was legitimately tempted to punch out his rear window.
wow.
I was fucking pissed. I was so mad. Once that came out of his mouth, the little dude in the back of my head just fucking tweaked sideways. I was like, what the just came out of your mouth?
Actually, you should
All right,
you
we're
should
letting you
have
go.
2 tires
That's what he said. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you anymore. Go ahead.
Yeah. Fight time.
Yeah. Filters off. Oh my God.
Okay,
Dude,
now the question is, how old was this guy?
55?
Okay, and that's still within reasonable age.
But it made his day better that he didn't hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it would have been worse. He would have gone to prison.
Yeah.
He
hitting
would have gone to prison for
there's
sure.
So much
Yeah.
paperwork involved when you hit somebody
And
with your
your
car.
life, it either would have ended or you would have been in the hospital.
Yeah. Oh God. He was moving too. I think he was on his phone.
Oh, that would have been it.
So I think this is what happened. Because I saw him slowing down, which is why I continued from the first lane to the next lane. Right? And there's a suicide lane in the middle. So you've got some space. But I looked up and I saw him slowing down. Okay, that's why I kept going. And then I happened to look back up again, and then he sped back up. So I think he was on his phone and came up, like, looked down. And you know how sometimes you just sort of naturally take your foot off the pedal when you're looking at your phone?
Yes.
I think that's what he did.
Oh.
Or he slowed down, waited for you to start going, and then sped right back up.
And how long do you think it took him before he was on his phone driving again after that?
Instantaneously.
Right after you yelled at him and he started going.
Instantaneously. He was right back to it.
Like, he started texting the person, this asshole.
As soon as, oh no.
Oh, yeah.
The tone that I took, he legitimately got out of his car and started like groveling.
Excellent.
It was, I was practically inside his car yelling at him, like crawling through his window to make my point.
Wow.
Lane get angry, flip car.
And I mean, you're not a small dude.
No.
Like,
yeah.
you're about eye level with a driver sitting in a Jeep. So,
Well, I mean,
like, that dude's not going anywhere.
he's a lot smaller than he used to
I
be.
was pissed.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Pissed.
But I bet that guy was peeing himself.
Yeah, he was not happy after that.
Yeah, no,
I imagine that haunted him for a couple of days.
Hopefully. So I give it like a week that he decided to maybe.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I guarantee you he stops at that crosswalk now.
He doesn't.
Oh,
He's
doesn't?
driven by me since.
Unbelievable.
And he looks at you, he's like, oh,
All right, look,
before-
if there's anybody you're giving the bird to, it's that fucking
Like, if
guy
you
every
think
time.
I'm forgetting that Jeep Wrangler, you're
he's
nuts.
going like this
No,
while he drives by.
You've clearly memorized the license plate, any marks, scuffs on it. You could identify it in a lot full of other Jeeps that were equally the same.
You're like, that's a new dent.
Oh my God. No, you want to say it's tourists, right? But it's not just tourists. It's
No, that's
locals.
clearly not, because you've seen them multiple times. So
Yeah, well, all of them. Like,
I find it to be locals that do it the most.
yeah.
You know, because you blank out those things so often, you just don't care where they are.
Well, here's the thing. So, like, I used to work up here, of course. I
Yeah.
took that drive all the time. Half the time, I don't even remember that drive. I don't know how I got home most of the time. I'm like, I know I
Yeah.
drove, but, like, I blank out everything. I make,
Just cruise control.
yeah,
But you were also getting off late.
really late.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I was working anywhere between 10 to 14 hours and then coming into the cigar shop to unwind and then driving home. Mind you, I wasn't drinking back then, so, well, that's much.
Although I tell you, so, you know, driving, like pulling off to the side, that Monday adventure I took to Reno
Yeah.
during gridlock traffic. See, when you have nowhere to go, gridlock traffic is highly entertaining for me because I am not in a rush to go anywhere, right?
It's just fun to
I
watch.
just know we're going to be here for a while. But to watch people freak out about trying to go somewhere, like at one point I'm sitting on the main stretch of road, and I know that there's a light to turn a little ways ahead. I saw 3 or 4 cars pull off the side of the road into what is the bike lane-ish area and half dirt
Yeah.
to just drive around to speed up to go through. Oh, I got to get somewhere. To watch them then go about 35 feet to hit another lane of traffic to stop. And I'm like, where are you going?
See, I like the same thing.
Where are
except
you going?
for I like the next the worst outcome, which is whoop.
Oh, no, there were no cops because they were all busy. As a matter of fact, Monday morning in Reno was probably the greatest time to commit a crime because the entirety of the law enforcement was busy, parked on
So-
the side of the road.
Speaking of presidential disasters,
Yes.
the presidential primary debates for the Republicans were tonight.
Oh, and they were terrible.
They weren't that bad.
You know what? It's
There's just no consequence to them.
well, it's not that there's no substance either.
No, there's not.
It-
I
it's a
think
big
I
shouty
think
match.
Vivek had some substance.
Who?
I don't. Ramaswamy.
Oh, how do you say his name?
Vivek.
Vivek. Vivek, not
Yeah.
Vivek.
No, Vivek.
Oh, I thought it was Vivek. Vivek. Okay. I mean, I liked his presentation about not being a career politician. Like that was cool.
Well, he's really eloquent.
Yeah.
He's well spoken.
He speaks
He's
well.
trying to speak like he's throwing in the typical political jabs, but he's trying to throw in some substance.
Yeah.
It's not just when I'm president.
Yeah. Okay.
Or
Yeah.
when I was governor of Florida, we did all the things.
No, his was like I made millions of dollars and I'm an American and I appreciate what he said.
Well, and he throws in little tidbits of policy.
True.
You know, not just grand consequences of his policy, but here are the mechanics of the policy that I think will work.
True.
Not a lot, but a little. But it just doesn't matter because Trump's leading by, I don't know, 120 points in the polls or something.
I think they said he was 55%
Yeah.
of the total vote for everyone. So he's 55 and
So
everyone
he's
else
leading
is whatever.
by at least 42 points on everybody.
That's rough.
That's rough.
That's rough.
But we had the guy in here talking about Trump and his trials and, you know, and not that not a huge Trump fan.
Oh yeah, did he go to jail yet? Was that supposed to happen?
No, he's turning himself in tomorrow, I think.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
But he's not going to jail. He's going to pay the bond and be done.
Oh.
He's going to get processed. They're going to do some mugshots, which why you need a mugshot of the former president, no idea. But they're going to do it. But here's what I think.
Okay.
Trump should have someone, not him, but one of the super PACs, someone that, you know, is clearly a Trumper,
Yeah.
who has a lot of money and is running political campaigns, like political ads.
Oh.
Trump needs to have someone start running a jury nullification campaign right now. Both of you. I feel like you know what jury nullification is, Casey.
Okay, hang on.
I do not.
I've seen at least 4 seasons of The Practice,
And Suits.
Boston Legal, and Suits. Jury nullification is where you try to throw out the jury.
No. Jury nullification is how Medgar Evers got off in the 60s. So you cannot punish a juror for misapplying the law. And if enough jurors vote to acquit, regardless of the evidence that was presented, if they acquit you, you can't be retried. You're innocent forever. So a juror can decide that even if all the elements of a charge are proven, that the charge was misapplied, either overcharged or charged for improper means or whatever, and can say not guilty. So a juror is never required. There is no amount of evidence or no excess of beyond a reasonable doubt that can exist where a juror is obligated to say guilty. A juror can always say not guilty. And Trump needs to advertise the shit out of that. Because all he needs is one person on each jury that's a Trumper, that doesn't care what gets, like, is not afraid to say not guilty, not afraid of being punished. Like, oh, but they really proved the case. I need to vote guilty. No, you don't. Trump needs to just tell the whole world that you can always vote not guilty. Always.
So listen to my constituents out there.
Yeah.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
I'm too legit. Too legit to acquit.
They
No,
tried
this
to
is what I
give me-
think.
No, I get it because you're nullifying the choice, right?
Yes.
Right.
Well, because one of the things that prosecutors get up there and say, and so you can't, as a defense attorney in court, speak of jury nullification. They will declare a mistrial immediately.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like if I, as someone who went to law school, is sitting in voir dire and they say something like, if I brought it up, you know, do you think you can be fair and honest, whatever, and impartial in this jury?
Right.
Yes, I do. However, if I believe you've overcharged, I will use a nullification vote. If I said those words, they would throw everyone in that voir dire out.
Yeah, because
And
no
start
one
over.
speaks like that except for legal people.
Well, but as soon as that term gets brought up, anyone that hears it is gone.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So if it's
You
mentioned,
have to know about it before you go into the trial because defense attorneys can't bring it up.
so can the jurors figure out nullification while they're
No, they sort
like-
of have to know it in advance. It just has to be this innate thing
Okay.
because it's never going to be discussed in the trial.
Well, I mean, if
Right.
there's a bunch of Trumpers, they're going to probably look for it.
How would they know?
I don't know, looking for a way to try and help him out by just going through, looking up different
Yeah.
things.
The last time Mail tried to help out, we still hear about January 6, 2020.
And that is true.
Dude, literally the only way that you know about jury nullification, and we're probably talking about 20 to 30% of the crim law professors in this country bring it up, is if you went to law school and had one of those 2 in 10 professors that talk about it.
I'm going to say there's at least 24, 25 now from listening to this.
So wait. So during jury nullification, someone says not guilty when they're all trying to make a decision,
Yes.
and at some point they hit a road or an impasse, and so then they have to go back to the judge, and then the judge is like, have you guys reached a decision? They have to be like, no, we haven't, or we can't.
Yeah, and most likely what happened is a hung jury because you're not going to get a whole jury of 12 to do it or 7 or whatever the number is that they have in the trial.
Right.
But if every juror does it, that person's acquitted, regardless of what evidence was presented.
Oh, so the whole jury would have to be.
Well, no. So some of the jury can do it and force them to go to another trial. They can declare a mistrial and start all over again, right? And with Trump, they probably would, but they'd have to
Right.
because you can't force a juror to change their vote.
Okay.
So that person who just thinks it's overcharged can say not guilty and just camp on it forever.
Right.
And that's going to be a hung jury.
Right. But usually people fold to peer pressure.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably some, they can dismiss some jurors to get down to a certain number because the minimum number of jurors isn't 12. I think it's 7.
7 sounds right, but only because we took that test a couple times.
Yeah.
That number seems right.
So I'm about to say something that will probably disappoint Lane. Is that where the saying, if you cannot commit, you must acquit comes from? I think that's what it's called, right?
That's not. No.
No,
You
no.
just bastardized
I did.
Johnny Cochran quote from the O.J. Simpson trial.
You're welcome. I know. That's why I was
if
looking
the
for.
glove doesn't fit,
you must
you
acquit.
must acquit.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I bastardized an MC Hammer song. He didn't say anything about it.
I knew it was something like that. If the glove does not fit, you must
That
acquit.
was the dumbest thing that prosecution did in that trial.
Did it work, though?
Well,
I mean,
I'm not sure they convict O.J. Simpson in L.A. at that time anyway.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to go back and watch the trial in its entirety, but I mean,
That was really bad.
Listen, it is
That
bad,
was not a solid prosecution.
but it worked.
That's what apparently Norm Macdonald got fired for his comments after the acquittal on SNL.
I believe that.
Hey, do you remember what he said?
I don't remember what he said, but I believe that because
He said, and in other news, murder's legal in California now.
oh, that's right.
And then SNL.
But anyway,
Oh, man.
so if 1 or 2 or 3 or a handful of jurors say not guilty, it's going to be a hung jury.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
but even if you believe the law was misapplied, if all the jurors say not guilty, even if the person is obviously guilty, they're acquitted.
Wow.
And you don't get to revisit those charges. That's
Right.
it.
You don't get to try again.
So what if it's like a 70-30 split?
Hung jury.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's all.
Even for a hung jury,
Yeah.
do you want to even just to seek out hung juries all over the place?
Yeah.
Trump should have someone pushing this narrative right now.
No, that's fair. That's very fair.
And
So
this
what, you
is-
just want like a political, use some campaign funds and
use
make
whatever
a commercial.
Listen, I'm not a fan of Trump, but I am all for the chaos that's going to follow.
That's I'm just saying.
That chaos is going to be
Just
amazing.
saying, if he wins, there's cheap gas.
Do you want to talk to this guy? You want me to talk to this guy?
No.
Me and him nodded. He looked at you, figured it out.
No,
Okay.
He's good. He's just watching TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's a freeloader.
Yeah, but I think that's Trump's best bet right now. Not to do it himself, but to have someone that's
Oh no,
connected to him.
this can't be. No,
Yeah.
this has to be like 2 camps away.
I mean, you kind of helped just now. You don't like the guy,
Listen,
but I mean,
think
Look,
okay. There's two things here. One, like Trump is almost definitely guilty of a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
I don't care. I also think they're old. I think a lot of politicians are guilty of a lot of this shit, and they're pressing this because it's Donald Trump.
yeah.
I don't care for Donald Trump, but I think as a nation we'd be better off if everyone that sat on a juror understood jury nullification. That you are never obligated to vote guilty in a criminal case, ever.
I mean, they should teach that at least to some.
I think it should be common
extent.
knowledge.
Yeah, it should. Because like
That
most people aren't going to know that, right? And again, people are going to fall to peer pressure.
Yeah.
Because you get to that. I've seen it. You get to that point where they make fun of it on TV all the time, but it's like you get like 12 or like 11 or 12 say,
Yeah.
"Oh," and then one person's like, "Well, I don't think they're really guilty." And they're like, "Come on, we don't want to be stuck here for another couple of days while you think it's not guilty. Clearly, they're guilty." And it's like, well, wait a minute. Don't peer pressure that. Don't bully that person. Like maybe you should rethink it.
Casey, I know you've seen it. You've probably seen the episode. It's with Brian in Family Guy.
Which one?
The one where he's on the jury and they wind up having a mistrial because of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's also an episode of The Dead Zone, an
is
episode
true.
of Leverage, a couple episodes of The Practice.
I mean, those make sense because they're actually shows about lawyers, right?
Yeah, no, I do think it
yeah.
is.
Family Guy is just like, here
Yeah.
you go, and like a bunch of people are just like, oh, I can do that.
There's a certain irony in gaining legal knowledge from Family Guy.
Yeah, but it's Family Guy.
And it's hilarious.
Look, if you're gonna learn the best lessons,
Hey.
they should be put right in front of you, and then you're just gonna go, I remember that.
Those
Right.
manatees are pretty fucking smart.
We don't talk about the manatee, okay, or any of those sea creatures.
No, but the manatees are the writers for Family Guy.
I know, but the ocean took Steve Irwin from us. We don't talk about the ocean.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but manatees are harmless.
No, they're not.
They are.
No, they're galactic sea cows pretending to be fish.
And when you give them idea balls in a tank, they write TV shows.
Exactly. That's a dangerous creature.
Way too smart for their own good.
And
So much power.
And one did kill a lady off the coast of Florida.
She
So-
did it to herself.
Just remember that.
Suicide by manatee?
That's right. There's no proof.
What?
He didn't know what was going on.
How dare
she
you?
jumped at
How
him.
dare you, sir?
Oh my God. Do you guys have some scores for these whiskeys? Let's get this out of the way.
Oh man,
I have no guesses. I don't care.
I wrote down palate as my score so far.
Okay. So no. So the answer is no.
So I can give you mine.
I honestly, they're aside from A, which was not terribly
Noticeable.
offensive.
The others were offensive.
The others were slightly offensive, and/or I'm with Kevin on number D. By the way, that's awful.
Yeah, that one got a 69.
I think I might have ruined my palate, possibly, and it just didn't hold up well.
yeah. I
but,
can tell you what notes on these ryes stand out when we're smoking cigars and which ones don't.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious.
which is kind of a cool thing to learn about. But D was definitely offensive.
Yeah.
So from A, I got 74, 80, 84, 69.
Okay.
I gave A 74 because it's just not noticeable on the palate. So I gave it a 35 on
So
that.
I went 69, 77, 76, 74. And then I retasted it might score, it was maybe a 72. They're all in the same ballpark. And listen, again, all of these are really good when I'm not smoking cigars. They're not as offensive as those weeders were.
No, for sure.
Those
we
weeders-
did not make the same mistake this time.
Of course, I made the same mistake mixing them together.
I don't know. Something about D was just off.
No, that's fair. I mean, listen, not everyone tastes the same things in whiskeys and wines.
Yeah. No. A for me was a 70.
Okay.
B was a 68
Okay.
because it was decent. I liked B. I thought B was decent. Just something about the nose I liked.
I think B might be the Boo Rye.
I think so too.
It's got a little bit something extra on the nose.
Yeah. The nose is what caught my
There's
attention.
almost, and I didn't get this when I wasn't smoking this many cigars. There's almost a maple note on B.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. C, I gave a 62, and D,
You gave like a 45.
D, I gave a 55.
Okay.
But it can fuck right off because that's. I'm sure it's good if I hadn't been smoking though.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what D is because I want to try it like tomorrow when I haven't smoked.
Well, pull out the sheet. Let's see what we got.
All right.
I tried to drink the last of B and spit like half of it out in my goatee.
Oh,
so
that's
now
good.
I'm saving some for later.
Might bleach it for tomorrow.
Right? I mean, it's already starting to turn white. What am I supposed to
Oh,
do?
and you know what? I just realized the camera's on you, so we've got that one on film.
Oh, good, good.
Perfect.
Yeah, because I'm like sitting there and I went to close my mouth and just nice. It's good smell. I can continue to smell it. I can taste it later if I want.
Yeah.
Just chew on it a little bit.
When you get pulled over, the cop will notice.
They'll be like, "Hey, you want to try some? It's real good.
Yeah.
It's that Blu-ray."
Dude, I used to. It didn't happen often, but every once in a while you get pulled over after work, working in nightclubs and shit. They'd be like, "You smell like booze," and you're like, "Yes, I do."
Was the fourth one.
What's that?
Penelope?
Was the fourth one?
Penelope.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the toasted rye. You know what? I forgot that we had a toasted rye in here.
Ah.
It's a barrel pick too, so it's super high proof.
Oh.
I should, if I'd known it, I would have. I think I probably should have been looking for the toasted notes if I'd known that's what it was. What I was, I can't smell shit right now.
Ah, okay. Well, that explains why I liked A.
Yeah.
Yes. A is the Boo Rye.
I got it
Okay.
right.
B is the Sagamore.
The 8-year.
Sag.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the age explains that maple note.
Ah, okay. C is the Penelope,
Okay.
and D is the Bardstown.
The Bardstown's the only one of those that's not sourced. It's all Bardstown.
Yeah.
It's their own distillate.
Interesting.
I think it might be the mixture with the cigar is why I didn't like that one. Because I know I like that one.
Yeah,
honestly-
we've had the Bardstown before, right?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
a whole different. Like you have to understand how smoking cigars changes the flavor of the whiskey.
Right.
And I would drink rye with cigars, but you have to know what it's going to be.
Yeah,
I honestly, I think the answer for cigars is single malt or high barley.
Like I said, that Boo Rye, it's really good. But when smoking a cigar, the flavor on the palate just isn't there.
Yeah, it did fall flat on the palate a little bit smoking
Yeah.
this many cigars.
And we know it's really good. We all
yeah,
like
yeah.
it.
The Boo
I like
Rye-
it a lot.
Yeah, the Boo Rye is good.
'Cause
You
didn't
you
we-
have to like it. You drove to get it.
Didn't we score it like a 90? Or close to it?
It scored high.
I think I scored it. I was the lowest, and I think I scored it an 83.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I was probably high 80s, maybe 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was definitely also in the 90s too.
This is why we do the reviews with some space on the cigars and not smoking in the middle of it.
yeah.
So
It's just
we shouldn't drink
We do these so you don't have
Boo
to.
Rye with cigar because we know it's really good. It holds up for the most part, but it loses on that palate.
yeah. We're gonna do. I think next week we're doing a single malt flight,
Okay.
and we'll see how it holds up
Ooh,
with
that's
cigars.
exciting.
What's our single malts?
We're gonna do that Stranahan's that you got.
Do you want me to bring the other one in or no?
What other one do you have?
That blue label?
No.
Okay.
Maybe, but I don't think so. We're gonna get, I think, Alpine and Westland or Westmark. Westmark.
Okay.
It's Alpine or Westland. I don't know which one they had, and the Westmark, not the cast strength. And then I would like to find. I haven't seen it around here. The Balcones single malt from Texas.
Well, is that just a Texas release, or is that where it's come from?
No. It's everywhere,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
from Texas.
Oh,
You know, you guys say Texas. And today, as you all call me Redneck every once in a while, Mike definitely calls me Redneck all the time. I'm the Redneck anime guy up in
yeah.
surveillance back then.
You put the yee in yee.
Yeah, so today, me and my dad had to move some couches. So I was supposed to bring M. M didn't start. The 69 Chevy Custom 10. Solenoid's going out, so it's not kicking over. So
Yeah.
I have to get a new one and rebuild it. But I can rebuild the solenoid. So I went over to his house, and instead we grabbed the 8N tractor, and I basically strapped it on there like a redneck and drove it to the back house so we can save it to get reupholstered later. Because the dog ate both cushions out of the couch. But that's not the worst one. The worst one is I don't have a truck anymore right now until I get mine fixed. It's been that way since 2018.
Are you on the bike then?
No, I'm using the Kia still. I had to bypass the condenser, so I'm running off of alternator, power steering, and the main shaft of the engine. So I mean, that's another redneck jank move right there.
I didn't say that. You did.
I did. But
just let
because
him
I
talk.
don't have that, there was a chair they were getting rid of too, and I love this chair. It's comfortable. It's nice. I had to strap it.
Did you
to
strap the chair to the trailer and then drive the tractor all the way down the street to deliver it to your house?
No, I strapped it to the roof of the Kia. One strap going across the top and just fastened it down.
You Mr. Beaned it home?
I Mr. Beaned at home. I yelled, yee, let's go.
Oh my god.
But like I thought about it when you said Texas. I'm like, I'm so fucking redneck. I used to live in Texas too, which is why it popped in my head. Bryan, Texas was fun for me, especially the swap meet out there. But I know why. Because I am yee
Yeah.
to the bone.
Oh man, that's just.
And my dad's like, we're a bunch of rednecks here. I'm like, you're not redneck. You're a city boy. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, yes, you are. You moved out to the country because you didn't feel right, but you're a city boy.
Listen,
That's
rednecks are not.
fantastic.
They don't have locals cards. They're not a discerning bunch.
You're not wrong.
If you show up and you want to be a redneck, you're in.
I mean, they made a song
Legitimately,
about
it
it.
is just show up and
Yeah.
you're good.
Yeah.
Like
but
they give out cards and they have membership. It's like a union.
But
It
yeah.
really is.
that was today. And then I'm like thinking about like past things that I've done. And I'm just like, those are stories for another time.
Yeah.
Just you know, daily redneck tidbits with Kevin.
Listen, I have redneck tidbits in the Army even, which are even funnier. Like towing a tank with 550 cord that you've braided quite a few times just so you can have enough strength in it.
Hey,
Right.
you know what? 550 cord works if the math checks out.
Yeah, you're right. 500 pounds. You just have to fucking splice enough together, twist it together,
Yeah, just
make that connection.
You know, you braid 2, you got 1,010. You're like, all right, this is easy.
How many braids? I don't know a lot.
More than I was willing to count.
Let's put in some more.
Well, after 3, you're just like, I don't know what's after 3. Just make more. Okay. What is
Right?
that? That 3 and 3 put together. I
And
don't
then
know.
when you fold it on itself to splice itself together so you have that big old loop at the end, doubles down the tension for you. It could take a lot. I didn't say that because
I mean, that's what it's made for.
that's right, moving the tank.
Yeah.
So Casey,
Yes, Slade.
F1's back this weekend.
Oh man, it's been so long, so long.
It is
That-
pretty
that
bleak
4
for the
weeks.
summer break.
It really is. The summer break's terrible. But I learned something new.
What did you learn?
So, all right, you remember that guy who went to the cheapest?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he put out another video. I now know how I need to go see an F1 race.
Okay.
All right, it's not in the grandstands. No. So this guy, he had VIP passes to go to the race. Not paddock passes, VIP passes.
What's the difference?
So the difference is, like, the paddock pass is the bougie pass. Okay,
Yes.
it's thousands of dollars. And
In
you
Vegas, it's tens of thousands of dollars.
Vegas is 10. Yeah, no, it's stupid in Vegas. But so you get special like, you get carted around, and then you get to go sit above the paddock, and you get to sit in the bougie like air conditioned room and watch the race and drink all the fancy top shelf. It's really for bougie people, right? Like it's the bougie part of F1. The VIP pass, however, so he's like, "Hey, I got this VIP pass." And he goes up to this first part of the. Once you get in, because you got to get in, and then
The whole time,
yeah,
Kevin was mouthing the words that you were saying because he was on camera.
that's my bad. I forgot to push the
I was
button.
sitting there watching. I'm like, oh, we're gonna. Do
I thought I pushed it all the
layover.
way, and I think I missed it. Was what happened. So
You're welcome.
but yeah.
I watched it for a few seconds. I was like, all right, we got to do something about that.
and I'm sitting
I
there
was
looking
like,
at him.
what
pointing
are you?
up.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Like I hit it. I'm like, oh, I didn't hit it. Shit. So he goes up like once you get in the gate, which the first part was just he skipped the main line to get in, and then like it's funny because he's like he just shows his pass, and the guy standing at the gate's like, yeah, cool, whatever. He's like, I've been to this race a few times. Usually you get searched head to toe, and there's like a metal detector you go through. He's like, VIP's already way cooler than it was. He's like, that guy just gave me a nod. Like, I could have walked in with anything. But there's, he was in Canada. So Canada's in the park. There were these boat shuttles taking people from one entrance, like all the way to the race paddock.
Wait, boat shuttles?
Yes, boat shuttles.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's like, "Oh, how do you get on the boats? Like, I want the shuttle. Like, let's go." And he goes over there, and they scan his pass. He's like, "No, you can't. This is for paddock people." And he goes, "Oh, I guess I'm walking the 2 miles to the paddock." Okay. He's like, "I really don't know what this VIP pass does then. Like, I jumped the line. Cool." So he gets to the paddock, and there's a lady from Alpine. So he was an Alpine VIP.
Yeah.
There's a lady from Alpine who's waiting for him. And he's like, "Oh, cool. Are we going to go up there?" She's like, "No, you don't have access to the paddock, like, club. You don't get to go up there." She's like, "You come with me." And they go around this gate, and he's on the paddock walking to the Alpine garage in the pit lane. So he's like, "Oh, this is already way cooler. Like, what's going on here?" They walk you to the pit lane, to the garage. And then she's just like, "Okay, you hang out here and do whatever you want. Like, I'll be back for you." She just left him in the garage. And he's like, "What?" He's like looking around, and like other mechanics are like, "Hey man, how's it going?" He's like, "Oh, cool." He's just standing there on the side of this car. Like, the Alpine car is just there. Like, he could touch it. And he's like, do I just stand here? Like, what do I do? And then the lady came back like 15 minutes later. And she's like, "All right, let me show you where we're going." They walked through the garage, out the back way, and then they just left him at the Alpine truck, like with the nice fancy outdoor area and the buffet.
Yeah.
And that's where he got to hang out. And he's like, "Okay, this is cool." And then they're like, "All right, hey, practice one's coming up." And he's like, "Cool." And they're like, "Yeah, come with us." And he's like, "Well, wait, where are we going?" And she's like, "Well, you get to watch the race from inside the garage." So he's like, "Wait, what?" So he like walks back into the garage. Okay, he's standing in the very back section of the garage. They give him a headset, and he's basically standing on two monitors watching the race, while he's also in the garage for Alpine, watching like all the mechanics do their shit. And apparently, you get to do that for about 20 to 25 minutes, and then you got to tag out with the other VIPs.
Yeah.
But they just send you back, like you just walk back to the Alpine tent, and you just sit there and watch the rest of it on the TVs in the Alpine tent, but you're just hanging out in the Alpine tent. And then you get lunch from the whatever.
From the Alpine chef.
From the Alpine Italian chefs, who apparently are the best chefs in all of F1. This dude had like a 10-course 5-star meal for lunch, which included wine and like just these fancy dishes you would probably have to pay a lot for.
Yeah.
And that was just lunch. And then they're like, "Okay, hey, we're doing qualifying 2. So you want to go back to the garage?" He's like, "Yes, I want to go back to the garage." Are you crazy? Yeah. So another 20 minutes in the garage. And like they're just there. Like you just stand there in the garage watching F1. And he's like, this is cool. Like, is this all this pass does? This is fantastic. And he just kept going back and forth. And then afterwards, one of the mechanics was like giving him shit for his Hawaiian shirt that he was wearing because they were in Canada and it was raining. And he's like, "Dude, I can't do." He's like, "Come with me." He's like, "Just come on." He took him into the Alpine truck, into the back room, and he's like, "Hey, what size shirt do you wear?" He throws him an Alpine team shirt, and he's like, "There, he's like, just give me. Like, I'm gonna burn this. Just give me this shirt." He's like, "Cool. Now I have a shirt to wear the next day because it's for all 3 days."
Yeah.
So the next day he comes back, and again they get to walk the pit lane, look at all the cars and like schmooze and whatever, and then it's again he's at this point he's comfortable with the garage now, and you can just walk through freely. It was like he worked there. It was amazing. I was like, wait a minute, you just get a pass to walk into the team garage, and then you're just like, "Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go casually sit back at the Alpine tent with all these flat screen TVs." I mean, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly walked by him like 6 times, gave him fist bumps, was like, "Hey man, what's up?" Like, how cool is that? You feel like you're part of the freaking team.
Dude, I'd love to
for
do that.
VIP passes. And then the best part, like on top of all that, was you get fed the whole time. Like everything in there is free, basically, because it's part of the pass. And then you get a photo op because randomly people just walk by. So like, hey, I'll take a photo.
Yeah.
They got a driver meet and greet. And for the race, they also got to stay in the garage and watch the race in the garage with a headset on, listening to all the team radio. Like, that is a way cooler experience than just sitting in the grandstands and being like, oh, cool, the cars are going by.
Or even sitting in the club.
Well, that's what he was saying. He was like, I don't know why people sit in the paddock club because, like, before the race started, he walked up to where the drivers walk out.
Yeah.
He was right there at the gate where the drivers walk out. And he turns around and he goes, oh, look, there's the paddock club people about 100 yards back who can't get any closer than we can. He's like, this isn't a VIP pass. This is a family pass. Like, you become family. Like, you're part of the team now. I want that.
How much did it cost?
I don't know. I can't find. I was looking for them, and I was like, how do you get these VIP tickets? I need to know how much they cost.
That'd be amazing.
I want to do it. I think I saw one for McLaren, but it also sounded like it was the Paddock Club one, but it was like $10,000.
Yeah.
And I think that was Paddock Club McLaren. Like, I think you have to get invited for VIP. Like, there's a lottery or something. Because it looked kind of like there might be about 10 per race that you can get. But if I can score some VIP F1 tickets, I want that experience. That is like the ultimate way to go. Because you're just standing, like, he's like in the garage too, right? He looks around. He's like, there's mechanics here and mechanics here, watching the TVs, watching the race. That's what we're doing. We're just standing here watching the race, but we're in the garage. Like, that's way cooler. And his was lucky because he got a pit stop for that race. So he actually got to watch the teams like flutter around in the garage, getting all their shit ready, and then run out. And he was like, "This is way cool. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen." I'm jealous. I want that.
I
would
would
be
ask
pretty cool.
so
Yeah.
many questions.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even
talk.
I wouldn't even bother with watching the first two practice. I'd be talking to them, learning about the car. Like, what's this do? What if I did this?
Legitimately, when they had the show off part, like the actual showing of because they parked the cars out in front of the garage. So he walked up and down the whole garage and got to see all 20 cars. And then he just stood there with the mechanics, and you could just talk, like, you just point stuff out. Like, at one point, he's standing next to Ted Kravitz from like F1 TV, and they're both like taking notes. Like, you see Ted going like, "Oh, look, clearly they've added a new sticky hubby bit."
Sticky hubby bit.
and it's like Ted Kravitz is right there. Martin Brundle was off to one side filming another segment. Like, the F1 TV guys were in the back lot filming stuff. It was amazing. You're just sitting in the mix of this chaos of
That
F1.
actually does sound incredible.
But it sounds like it looked super fun. I'm so jealous. Jealous.
I would love to just be in the garage. That's
Well, I kind of thought about it because I was like, okay, it's almost like the ultimate NASCAR experience, right? Like when they do that for NASCAR,
yeah.
right? You get to do part of those. But like in NASCAR, you're not sitting on the pit wall with the team when they're doing a race. As cool as that would be, right?
Oh,
This
there's
one,
left
you're
there.
sitting in the fucking garage of F1 during a race. Like, where else would you want to be?
In the car.
Yeah, in the car. Well, that's true. In the car
That's,
would be
that's
nice.
the next best
That's
step right
that's
there.
that's the other reno package you have to pay for when you go to France.
On you.
And that's, very expensive. Very, very expensive. I would like to do that one. I probably wouldn't fit in the car though. Lane wouldn't. He's got too broad of shoulders.
Yeah, I wouldn't fit in the car.
There's no way. Like,
But I am a perfect candidate.
you
would probably
You
fit.
could probably rock that. Yeah. Although, how's your foot strength?
I
Because the braking, I'm told, is about 150 pounds.
I got to work on it, but
Yeah. So we got to strengthen up your ankles.
that's what we're gonna do.
No, so the owner of that casino that I worked for
Yeah.
with the race team, a couple of race teams, he flat out told me, he goes, I might be able to get you into my stock car. He goes, but that'd be the only one of all the cars that I own.
That's that's fair, right? Because that's decent size. Like
Yeah.
the frame on that's not too hard. You just have to crawl through the window, Dukes of Hazzard style.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
what he
not-
said. He
yeah.
goes, we can try the stock car.
And you never got to try it.
No, I could still.
Yeah, you know that.
I still
You're
talk
still
to
friend
him.
with that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the guy
He,
you-
he invited me up to Lake Almanor
That's
for
the
the
guy you-
4th of July, but I was working at the club.
F1 fantasy guy, right?
Yes.
You gonna kick his ass this weekend?
I don't know. It depends. I'm sticking with Piastri. So I've got right now both Red Bull,
Okay.
Alonso, Piastri, and Danny Rick.
How you doing in
Danny
points?
Rick.
What's that?
How you doing in points against
I've
him?
got like 100 so I had 150, and I think now I have 130, 128 to 132.
Yeah, I think you said he gained 20 on you last time. Of
Yeah,
some
because
unfortunate stuff.
Piastri DNF'd.
Oh, that's
because Signs put him out.
That's right, bastard.
If it wasn't
But
for
I
him.
still think it was the right move.
Yeah, no, I think so. Well, I mean, we'll find out, but
Because the alternative is, so I had to get rid of Joe, which is disappointing. But he had seemed to be tailing off a little bit. But Stroll was tailing off a bunch.
yeah.
So to trade Stroll for Piastri, I couldn't afford Joe, which is where Danny Rick came in.
yeah,
And I think Danny Rick, if he finds a little bit of a stride, will perform at least as well as Joe
I think so.
in the points.
I think so.
I don't think it's a bad bet.
No.
And I don't think Stroll's car, I just don't think it's as fast. The upgrades on the other cars have been better.
Yeah. Something happened with that Aston. They floundered out, which
Yeah.
is unfortunate.
And I mean, Alonso's still finishing well, but he's finishing well because he can drive.
Yeah.
And right now he's driving the 6th fastest car in F1.
Yeah. No,
Like-
I'd say that's fair. With the McLaren updates, they definitely jumped Aston.
I mean, I think he's finishing as high as he can finish right now in that car. So, but I can't drop him and get like Norris. You can't afford it.
No.
There's no way to do it. I think I've got the best team you can have on the grid right now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. They put out a very sad post, and it was like the drivers who are mathematically eliminated from winning. And I was like, yeah, no shit. But Max is so far ahead, but it was like the top 12 dudes
Yeah.
just all automatically eliminated. Mathematically, they can't win. I'm like, yeah, mathematically, nobody can win at this point because unless Max is dead,
Dude,
there's no way he's going
the
to
number of races that he would have to DNF or finish in the bottom 10 at this point.
It would be clear sabotage in Red Bull's camp for that
I mean,
point.
all he's got to do is win like 2 more races and finish in the top 6 in the rest.
Not even that. I think it's if he wins like the next 3.
That's it.
I think he's pretty much there, like
Yeah.
locked in. Like they might make it 4, just in case. But
Would that be the earliest anyone has ever locked up a title?
no, because what it's what is it? It's Italy, and then it's Texas, and then it's Mexico City. Lewis won Mexico City. He locked it in Mexico City a couple years back.
Yeah.
So it's possible to lock it in that early. Especially with the way they're winning every race.
Yeah. They've won
So-
every race.
And Max is 8 of those in a row or something. He's about to break Seb's record if he wins this one, so
Yeah. Is he tied now?
he'll tie Seb. Yeah, he'll tie Seb.
Is Seb the top for that record?
Nine in a row is Seb's record. Yeah. And that's just because they added more races as that was coming in.
Well, I don't know that adding races helps the number in a row.
Not necessarily, but like dominance, like definitely does.
I mean, no one has ever beaten on the PGA Tour. No one has ever beaten. It's one of the Texans. I think it's Sam Snead, but it might be the other one.
for most wins in a
11 PGA Tour wins in a row and 13 in a season,
wow,
Well,
that's impressive.
and that was in the 50s.
Oh, jeez.
And no one's ever come close. And they play a lot more tournaments now than they did then, I think. Oh, yeah, winning 11 PGA tournaments in a row.
That's impressive.
That's 44 rounds of exceptional golf.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
what's the closest they've come?
Tiger once won 11 in a season.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
think he won 9 or 10 in a row.
Oh, he was close.
Yeah, he was sniffing at it. And Tiger's the most dominant golfer I've ever seen. I mean, there was a whole decade where there was a bet on the board. Tiger or the field.
Yeah, I remember that.
Tiger of the field.
That was, I mean, in golf, that's absurd.
Yeah, that's true. That's
'Cause-
very true.
I mean,
It's golf.
it doesn't take much to fall out.
Yeah, one hole can fuck you off.
Or does it? I mean, one guy has 4 good days, and it just didn't matter.
No.
For 10 years, it was irrelevant.
I miss those days of golf.
Tiger, I mean,
Watching
I
Tiger.
liked it more when there was someone close to Tiger.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I wanted to see competitive.
All right.
But I didn't realize until after the fact how good the game was with someone like Tiger for my generation or, Nicholas for my dad's generation. Like someone that just is the guy.
Yeah.
Week in and week out for a substantial period of time.
Yeah. Senna, Schumacher,
Yeah.
Hamilton. Same thing in F1.
It's rarer in golf.
No, yeah, it is definitely because it's personal based, not, oh, we spent billions of dollars in this car based.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's impressive. 11 tournaments
In
in
a
a
row.
row.
That's amazing.
Fucking hell, man. That means that you played good in the shitty weather. You were never in your head.
Yeah. Dude,
Oh,
it's
man.
hard enough to string 4 good rounds together in a row.
What? It's hard enough to string 4 good holes in a row, let alone rounds.
Yeah.
Not all of us are PGA Tour event like you.
Oh. Dude, I think about it. Like, I can play.
Yeah.
And even just teeing off in, like, those Pepsi Tour events
Yeah.
years ago, some of those guys, like, it was obvious the guys that were going to go from there to, like, the nationwide, now the web.com tour.
Oh, okay.
And then watching, like, web.com at that time nationwide tour events,
Yeah.
it was obvious which guys were going to go to the tour.
Do you think you would have been one of them?
I could have been one of, if I started at 6. I mean, my problem's consistency.
Okay.
That's everyone's. I mean, I didn't start playing until I was 21, 22.
I thought you were playing in high school a little bit.
No, he wanted
No,
to.
I wanted to. They wouldn't let me try out. I got sent back to football practice because I didn't look like a golfer. I looked like a football player.
And then he was miserable when he found out.
Oh, when he saw me hitting balls, which, I mean, I didn't say anything at the time, but it did feel pretty good. Like seeing the look on his face felt pretty good when he realized, like, oh shit.
You could have had this.
Yeah.
We could have won championships. We could have gone there.
That kid could hit satellites.
But no, I mean, and the guys on tour, even the guy, like watching the top 20 guys versus everybody else, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
You go, oh, he's a contender.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, how long have we been doing this tonight?
We are floating on about just a little over an hour now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like calling it short tonight. What do you guys think?
I'm fine with short if you want
I
to
mean,
do
sure, if you want to call it. I mean,
We've been here a while, did a bunch
fair.
of videos.
That's fair. How about, well, let me tell you about the documentary I was watching.
All right, let's start.
Because it was fascinating. Like super fascinating. It's about the James Webb telescope. That's the new one, right?
Yeah.
It took 15 years to build that thing, which I didn't know.
I knew it was a long time. I didn't know it was 15 years.
Yeah, 15. So it's in 1998 they actually announced the building of the new, because that was after the Hubble telescope.
Yeah.
And so this telescope design was designed to see like 10 times further than Hubble.
When you look at the comparisons, it's substantial.
Oh, it's I mean it's ridiculous. But this documentary is called The Cosmic Time Travel, because it's basically, we're looking at light from so far away, so we're basically looking into the past. Because what they're looking for essentially where the Big Bang started. They're looking for first star light from the original explosion of the galaxy.
Don't they hit that wall of, what is it, that green wall? What's it called?
Green wall?
It's like a green wall that they see of just light. So it's like right there at the beginning of time.
Yeah, so that was with the Hubble.
Okay.
That's why they needed more advanced equipment. But anyway, so this design was 15 years in the making, and it's relatively stayed the same the whole way through. But it's 30 feet tall, like when you look at it, and it was the most precise building NASA's ever done to make this thing. So it's got these 10 mirrors. They all had to be specifically made as hexagons so that they could fold up, because they designed this telescope and then realized that they had to put it in a rocket. And somebody went, the telescope's bigger than the rocket. There's a problem there. And so they had to figure out how to fold it. But that wasn't the crazy part. So the crazy part was they have this thing called points of failure, where each space mission has points that are basically would destroy the mission. Apollo had about 37 to 50 points of failure, where if any one of those things went wrong, the mission was gone. The Mars lander, the first one we sent, had about 110 points of failure. The James Webb Telescope had 344 points of failure before it could possibly be where it's supposed to be. And by some miracle of science and billions of dollars of budget spending, we then shipped off this rocket to the French Guiana launching pad, which doesn't have the greatest record of launches. And they launched the telescope, and it worked.
Yeah, I mean, it's up there now.
Yeah, but it's crazy because it folds out sideways to deploy this tinfoil light blocker. And it's 5 layers of tinfoil that are about 60 feet out in this pyramid shape. And what it does is it blocks out the earth light, the sunlight, and all of the light that comes off of the reflections from that area.
Yeah.
And they had to test it a few times, and every time they tested it to open it, they risked ripping the paper.
Yeah, it would tear.
So after 3 tests, they're like, okay, we just have to assume it's going to work in space. We can't keep doing this. And then they converted the Apollo, that big Apollo tank that they filmed in Armageddon, the big one, you see the big door?
Yeah.
They converted that into a freezer for cryogenic testing. It took 10 years to do. But basically they froze it, and they're like, okay, it doesn't break in cold weather. That's good. This is another point of failure we were worried about. That works. And then they had to build a earthquake machine for it to replicate it being in a space shuttle. And the guy who's the leader was like, let me tell you about the most harrowing week of not sleep I had was when we decided to hook this thing up to a machine that was going to shake it apart and try to break it. And he's like, so there's about 10,000 bolts on this satellite. And he goes, it turns out that the locking hubs that are part of the nuts are supposed to lock in place when they're tightened down, so that in 0G it doesn't go anywhere. Well, they failed.
Yeah.
So for 6 months, 5 dudes dressed in these static-free, dust-free suits had to replace 10,000 locking bolt and nuts on the whole satellite. It cost the United States about $600,000
For the bolts?
just for the bolts and the labor to put it back together. But if you watch this document, it's an hour long, and it's just the craziest story about how all these things could have gone wrong. And by some miracle, we launched the most expensive satellite, which captures the most amazing images.
Yeah, I mean, the images that come off are incredible.
Yeah, and just the things we've been able to see now, they say have pushed astrophysics 100 years forward in thinking, just on the stuff we can now see. And it's crazy because they're when they're talking about Hubble, they're like, well, Hubble was up in space, and we just pointed it in the direction of nothingness. But what we got back were magnificent pictures. And when we switched over to James Webb, it was that same, point it this way. I didn't know that was out there. The colors that come back and the nebulas and the galaxy. It's wow. You could spend a whole 2 weeks just going through the pictures that have come back already from that thing.
Oh, yeah, I've seen some of them.
But apparently it's not orbiting us. It's out.
Further away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
Isn't it just behind the moon?
Yes, just barely. So, that was clearly something for the government to send something out there.
Dude, India just landed some sort of spacecraft on the moon.
We're getting ready for I think Moon Phase 2 is coming up.
Yeah.
Like, let's drop some people on that thing and leave them there for a little while.
They just showed video of the plane crash that Prigozhin was in.
Oh, allegedly?
Well, they've got video. They think it was shot down. I think
That plane just disappeared.
it came out of the sky. I think they've got the whole thing on video. It came out of the sky with only one wing.
Well, that's weird.
And there's an anti-aircraft missile trail leading to it or something. Why?
Who did it? Was it us or was it them?
Oh, God, no, it was Russia.
Oh, was it? Yeah?
He tried to take Moscow, and Putin was like,
Oh, it's that guy.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
He should have been in the Cayman Islands or something.
Right.
As far away from Russia as possible.
The fact that he was still there,
Hiding.
kind of asking for it.
Putin's like, no, it's fine. We're good.
it's
We're
good.
totally good.
Yes. No, look, friend, I understand what you tried to do. It's
Yeah.
okay. Do not worry about it at all. Although I'm going to need you to go get on a plane and fly somewhere.
Yeah.
I would have been like, no, I'm cool. I'm going to take the train.
This plane.
I'm going to take the train. It's cool.
How do you think the pilot felt? Who's on this plane?
What pilot?
Son of a bitch.
First of all,
Remote control.
if you think there was a pilot on that plane, you are gravely mistaken.
This is Russia. I think there was a pilot on that plane.
No,
There's definitely a pilot on the
it
plane.
was.
if
It wasn't.
Russia.
It was a person. I don't think he was a pilot.
Yeah.
All they had to do was teach him how to take off. He was like, "We're not going to land."
Yeah, you don't need the rest.
Yeah,
Why
we're
not?
fine.
Don't worry about
It
it.
lands itself. It's
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
Autopilot.
Auto.
Just works wonders these days.
Great, fantastic. Good luck, comrade.
All right. What about you, Kevin? You got anything you want to close
Yeah,
with?
what do you got there, Kev?
No, I'm okay today.
All right.
I
Huh?
think I'll save that for later because, yeah.
All right. I'm going
like
to get
the
these whiskey
conversations.
scores from all you guys. We'll tally them up later.
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know what the winner was. I think they're all pretty close.
I think it's a close tie between A and B.
Yeah, probably.
I think
Yeah.
that those were our two that were, I think, scored the higher.
Yeah. Well,
Or-
you
or-
took so many points off of D that it's not in the conversation.
Well,
No.
yeah.
No, it's true.
I think
So
it's, the way
either
that
it's
Scar
either
hit
the
it.
Boo Rye or the aged Sagamore. That's the more of the story. Boo Rye or aged Rye. Take your pick.
Both?
Both. Why not? Actually,
Yeah.
that Boo Rye is pretty well aged too.
Yes.
All right. I'm done.
There's Lane. There's Kevin. There's me. We're out of here.